Hello friends, this is update 3 of the butterfly simulation. A lot of good progress done this week. Where to start? So, first off, we talked about making new butterfly wing types. It's quite grindy making butterfly wing types, but I did get one more here. Oh, wrong butterfly tab. Modular butterfly. So this is a wing type 2. It's going to look really weird pulled out here because the materials are on odd indexes. But this is the wing type 2. It's kind of a more soft, floppy wing type. The size is the same, everything like that for now. It's just a new design. And that brings us into the next thing. So originally I had this butterfly made with individual skeletal meshes for each component, each modular component. When I got into animating, I started to realize, well, that's not really practical because I need to animate with a separate skeletal mesh every time. And maybe I don't, but I don't know enough about it to not do that. So I found out this cool thing I didn't know. You can actually have material indexes for the butterfly here. So as you can see, I added some more materials. The butterfly can have, I don't remember the indexes, but I mean we can go through and see. So the material I'm most proud of, this is an iridescent rainbow material. As we move around, you'll see that it'll change based on the player's stuff. Actually, let me move it in here and we can look at all the materials together. So this is all the materials. There's 3 different types of the iridescent materials here. And if we just drop it on this whole thing, well, I was hoping that it would drop on that whole thing. This might take a second. I wish it wouldn't dock or wouldn't do this every time. But yeah, if we drop it on the whole thing, you can see a lot better that it's why are you not going on there? Anyway, you see a lot better. It's iridescent rainbow. Depending on your angle, or viewer's angle of the material, it will change. I don't know what it's like performance-wise. I haven't had any sort of lag spikes or anything like that working on this project, except for the occasional physics complication that's my fault and has been fixed. So there's that. The rainbow material has some different instances. You can see here, dark purple, green, and blue. They're pretty cool. I like the blue especially. The green's okay. Dark purple's okay. The rest of these materials are basic colors. I tried to get every color of the rainbow kind of as light or dark, depending on what a butterfly might actually have color-wise. So yeah, I think there's about 18 of them in total. So that makes it so that every butterfly is individual and unique. So here's the individual butterflies randomly generated here. That is, oh yeah, they're small now. I forgot. So obviously a butterfly in the real world is not going to be that large. This one looks like it got like a red material, so that's cool. I'll go ahead and scale it up here so you can see. Let's see. There's also a collision cylinder, as you can see, and we'll get into that in a bit. Why can't I move you? There we are. So let's scale you to like 1.3. So now you can see, well, that's really cool. Just randomly generated stuff. I left the body as black, but all the rest of the colors are randomly generated. So there's that. They have an animation. Oh, I just deleted it, but they have an animation that I made. It's very basic wing flapping animation. Doesn't do a lot. It's just to show that they're flapping. And it's kind of slow right now. I'll probably speed this up in the future. You can see that one over there flapping too. That's cute. What else? The modular spawner. So the spawner that we had spawned a ton of butterflies. It was terrible for performance. If I want any chance to get onto, it also moved itself, which was weird. I think I was just learning how to use the spawning mechanics of Unreal Engine at the time. Much more efficient modular spawner now. All you do is type in how many butterflies do you want. So do you want 10 butterflies? You type in 10. And then the range, it's just in a square area, so this is actually 2500 on the x-axis, 2500 on the y-axis. I'm going to go ahead and do, for the sake of this, let's do 2000, so they're 1000 units away. And we'll go ahead and start it. And you can see there's little butterflies spawned everywhere within 1000 units of this thing. That's a pretty one. So yeah, that's the new modular spawner. It's simple but very effective at what it does, and it's very cheap. Butterfly picking up. So this is something I'm proud of. I've never worked like on things like this in UE before. So we have this butterfly here, right? And we have a basic player character with a camera on it. This one's got green wings. So when we walk over this butterfly, it's going to be picked up. And you can see it in our hand right here. And that is a beautiful butterfly. It'll just do the animation. Obviously, the player character is not finalized. It will look much better than this at the end of it all, but I'm not much of an artist, so I'll probably have somebody either do that for me or I'll take a few YouTube classes on it. So this is the butterfly pickup. I've got a bit of a spring arm on the camera here, and it looks kind of cool. It looks like you're moving your hand around when I move the camera. I need to do some adjustments to it to make it finalized, making it something I'm willing to show people. Besides that, the last thing, the feeder here. This is a very basic looking sunflower that I modeled. But the idea, if we started a level and we just had you pick up butterflies and you immediately picked them up, brought them back to your home base, and you got all the butterflies you wanted, and you're done with the game. Like that's not really any sort of story arc. There's no work towards it. Realistically, and not that this is realistic, but in the real world, you wouldn't be able to just walk out and pick up a butterfly. So I'm introducing this feeder mechanic. It'll be a grabbable object as well, just in the same way that you grab the butterfly there, except you'll be able to drop it on the ground. So this feeder you'll put some type of food into it. I might make some different types of food that do better, do worse, do different kind of materials on butterflies. Who knows? But I'm going to add this feeder in to the butterflies are going to land on it, and it's going to begin kind of a befriending process. And after a certain amount of time, hang out with the butterfly, maybe I'll even add some like playing activities with the butterfly or things like that. The butterfly will land on here, and the user will be able to pick it up from the butterfly feeder, and that's how you're going to befriend butterflies to take home to your home base. So that's the feeder. I like the idea of it. I definitely think it would be really easy to implement different shapes and things like that for feeders for a shop and things like that. But yeah, that's the progress that was made this week. It's quite a bit. I've never done anything like it before. So to-dos, and I'll go ahead and show this requirements here just to hold myself accountable. You can see the things that I finished here. We're not going to work on the body shapes because I don't think there's really that much unique butterfly body shapes out there, and they're not that interesting in the first place. So I don't think anybody's going to be collecting butterflies based on body shape, unless I think of some sort of special way to do that. I might do maybe a special sort of particle system that trails butterflies for special kinds, but that will be very different from body shapes. So I just checked that off. We got different materials and material sections, different wing shapes. Butterflies interacting with the player, we can grab them now. Butterfly capturing, this is done. It doesn't require an inventory system. I originally thought about adding an inventory system. I don't like the realism of it, and I don't like the thought of butterflies being put into a backpack or something like that, you know. So the inventory system is your hands, and I also don't like the idea of capturing butterflies with a net because you can hurt their wings and things like that, and I don't want to give that idea to anybody who might be playing. So there's that. You can also see it down here in the extended thing. I'm going to be finishing up here in this week. Well, first of all, we're going to work on baby caterpillars. In order to release kind of a beta or consider the project at least semi-complete, and we're just adding on to it, we only need like the bare minimum requirements. So right now we're going to keep the grabbing where it's at. We're going to keep the animations where it's at. We're going to keep the butterflies where they're at, and then we'll add wing types as we go on. Everything is made modularly. All the classes can be inherited from safely, so it won't be hard to add content in the future. Butterfly interactions. I do want the butterfly to do more than just sit still. There needs to be some sort of AI implemented with these butterflies. It can be aimless. They're butterflies, right? Like, what do they do, really? But they do fly around, so that's important. And then, of course, the last thing we need to do, the finished modular butterfly. That's just polishing off all the different things. Once we have, well, different body shapes isn't in there anymore. Once we have the baby butterflies and the breeding mechanics, then we'll be pretty much finished with the modular interactive and unique butterflies chapter of the development, as well as the feeding. So that'll be done, and then we can move on to the dynamic game experience. Another thing I might consider adding this week is maybe like an extra stretch thing if I have the time. Is I want to make a greenhouse for our main world and maybe start tinkering around with visiting other biomes and things like that to generate more butterflies. I don't want all the gameplay to be in this one home world. And then also, I need to add in here the distinct progression system. That's kind of part of that. But also, it's really easy to make plants grabbable now that I have the grabbable blueprint for the butterflies. So if we could just figure out some quick way to dig up a plant that you like and plant it to your homeworld, it can't be that hard. So that's something I might look into. But yeah, that's progress report number 3.